Hey everyone, glad to be back. I've been a little busy and away from doing certain things, including what I've done in the past, which had to do with intuitive guidance, readings, working with angel oracle cards, mediumship, and sound healing, and I don't know, just a variety of things. So I had taken some time away, and then every so often I've been doing a video here and there. I was hoping to be a little bit more consistent with things, but life is what it is. And so then, I don't know, I felt like I really just wanted to do stuff again with jewelry and, making some time to make some, little things here and there. And then I started with making some bracelets and then just giving them to people, that I knew. And what I do though, too, and I've seen other people do it, is seeing as that I do work with energy, I kind of, in a sense, not say put energy into this, but I mean, you're always, when you make something, you are putting your energy into something. And with this, it's also working with intention. And I had a friend of mine that was like, "Hey, why don't you, do YouTube videos with what you're doing with the bracelets?" And I'm like, "Cool." I actually do make more than the bracelets. I have a necklace that I made that, again, it just depends. Oops, sorry. Try to get this out here. It's a big necklace, so I love the colors, and the camera's not really doing it justice, you know. So it's just very pretty, kind of just some pink and just clear. And then I had these cool little beads on the end here that are like, they're angels. And then, oops, if you can see that, hopefully the camera picked it up. And then the infinity symbol. So for me, it was just the intention of connecting. Like with pink, I look at it like it's love. You're and the sparkle and the light that I am, and just putting the intention, connecting me with all that is, that ever was, that will be. Just good. Just putting that good, loving energy into what I'm doing, and putting that love into it. And so same thing with this. So with this, I built out a bracelet here. And what I wanted to do today was just kind of show you, if you're ever interested in making a bracelet or something, or maybe you just want a little creative hobby, and the doing some of this work doesn't feel like work, which is really nice. But what I'm doing right now is actually built out a bracelet for a friend, and I do actually, make, I call it custom bracelets, so custom energy bracelets. And I play music sometimes when I'm doing this, and to help infuse good energy into each piece. And sometimes I do little prayers, or maybe I'll do some Reiki or something, but because it's just nice to be able to then give that bracelet to someone, and whether they buy it or it's like maybe do it as a gift or something every so often. But yeah, it's just, I'm just showing you really quick, a real simple one to make, if you're ever interested in doing stuff. And if you're really like, I just, yeah, want to do something creative, and you feel drawn to doing necklaces or whatever, this is kind of a neat thing you can do. And this is one of the simplest ones because you don't technically need any tools, which is brilliant. So, because when it comes to making some jewelry and stuff, normally you do need some tools. But like this one, the only thing you really need, and this stuff is called Stretch Magic. Hopefully the camera can pick this up. So you can get this online. You can get it at your local craft place, Michael's, or whatever's near around you. Amazon probably has it, but I try to support local business as much as I can. But so the bracelet I'm making today is actually, like I said, it's for a friend, and because I already kind of know a little bit about her, it's like I said, it's custom. It's a custom energy bracelet. So when I go to string it, put it on the string, I'll actually, just as I'm doing this and putting it on the string, just adding in just that something about that person. You know, she's very bubbly and just bright, and this energy, it's a bracelet to kind of connect with, you know, what she is. And she's also very intuitive, and she likes her garden and stuff like that. So I did have like a little piece here, hopefully you can see it. Ah, camera. No, I'm doing this wrong. Sorry, guys. It's a lotus flower. And she loves the beach and stuff. So we have some blue and just some fun, calming, you know, tropical colors. You know, something for with the summertime here. And so if you want, like I said, if you have an idea for something, there are a lot of things out there now to help, even with like designs and such. Um, but like I said, for me, I'm also putting in with this one a little smiley face. Hopefully you can see that. So like I said, she's, you know, just normally smiling, and um, so hopefully this also will help inspire. So if she's ever feeling stressed, you know, to help her to stay calm and just relaxed. And so that's kind of, like I said, I have multiple intention in when I make something. And I try to keep it simple, but sometimes that gets away with me, or gets away from me. Anyways, so when you make jewelry, at least like I said, the simplest thing to do, and if you can, is find the beads and the stuff that you really like. And I always say, if you feel really drawn to something, to get it. And anyways, and so you have your kind of your main beads. You have like your different shapes, crystals. Some that they call, like on here, are called bicones. Um, and then these other ones, like these metal ones, and there's different ones that they call them spacer beads, because it takes up space, so to speak. So you can just, like I've done here, I have a crystal and a bead, and then I have the spacer bead, and I just did a very simple, keep it as simple as possible design. And yeah, even same thing with this one. I had these kind of crystal looking bicone beads, and then I've got these smaller like spacer beads in the that hopefully you can see that. Um, they're kind of pinky, coppery kind of thing going on here. And you just build it out. You build out your design first. You know, I mean, you can throw caution to the wind and just start putting stuff on the string, you know. Um, Another thing too is I do a lot of the bracelets based on, unless I know the person's wrist size, which you can find out, you know, is just, hey, you know, wrap the string around it and then go use a measuring tape. But I normally put the string around my wrist and then allow for a wee bit extra, because with this string, you like I said, the easiest thing you get to do at the end is you just tie it up like you would shoelaces, and voila. So I forgot to get my little cutting tool, but yeah, like I said, with this building out a bracelet, you don't need tools, because pretty much then what you're going to do is you start putting this, just start stringing it. So you just slide it on, you know, you just slide it on, and eventually you get to the end, which then what you're going to do, like I said, you have to leave plenty enough room, because then you basically just, you know, like you're tying it in a knot. So, and with this, like I said, as I go along, I'm just hoping the best for my friend. Every so often I like to pause, or I play music and or sing, or maybe at the end I'll put, you know, just bless it with Reiki, or, you know, just different things, because that's just my thing. And then eventually when I see her, I'll, you know, obviously give it to her. But and so the intention is just hoping that it helps her have a beautiful day wherever she's at, and that she remembers to, if there's days and she's not smiling, you know, that hopefully it'll help to remember to do so. And every time I do one of these, it's the intention gets to be, it's a little bit different. And so this is pretty much it. Once you build out your bracelet, um, then you just start stringing everything on. Oops, hold on. Come back here. Getting away from me. But that's just kind of the beginning of the bracelet. I'm going to back this up a little bit. Anyways, and then you just build it out. And then, like I said, at the very end, you just tie it up like you would a shoelace and tie a knot. And, tie it a few times. That's why you want to leave yourself plenty of extra string of the Stretch Magic beading cord. So, and along the way, like I said, you can put in kind of like, what's the intention? What do you know about the person? Or like for me, if someone wants a bracelet that I don't know, I might ask them a little bit about themselves. And, do you have any hobbies? Is there something that maybe I could put a little good juju energy in, and it would help with, when you remember to wear it, then help bless your day somehow. Hopefully this makes sense. And other than that, I do have some other fun examples of some things I've done. And these are kind of cool. It's been a little bit too since I made these, but you can also make, you can tell I'm not that great at doing camera stuff. I love myself. Sure, I can do this. No problem. Woo! Just lay it down, maybe. Yeah. So I'm going to do that. Basically, this is I'll hold it like this. So this is a little bookmark that I made many moons ago, but not too many moons ago, I should say. So there's one. So this is just one example, or another example of something you can do with stuff, and other than just doing jewelry. Another thing I have that I used to like to do is play with the wire, and I'd make designs, like for this, it kind of reminded me at one point of a bike. It could be a lot of things, but you get wire and you can, different things, and you can just play with it. And and then lastly, I was kind of messing around with this little bit of fun here. I mean, it was supposed to be kind of like a pendant. It's not the best wiring job I've ever done, but I just thought, hey, this is cool. I can, and it's something, like I said, you get some wire, you learn wire wrapping, which is a little bit more, advanced than this, and have fun with things. And I love these beads because I'll show you real quick. Hopefully, I'll put it over here. You can see it. But they are just pretty. They're vintage. That's kind of what the set was called. So, I got a heart shape in there. And something to me, it looks like the sun. And just like with this, the intention, because of the blue, was supposed to be it's relaxing, calming, but also blue for communication, as in the throat chakra, for any of you that are familiar with that little bit of fun. Anyways, so that is the project, and I may come on and do more, but that's pretty much it. I'm gonna, finish up this bracelet, and plus the other thing I forgot to say too, because my friend and I, when we met, we both found out that we really liked doing stuff with oracle cards and angel readings and stuff. So then we started, kind of messing around with that. I think somewhere around 2002 or something. So I've been doing stuff for a while. And then this one I kind of like. I like this little one on here I'm putting in on her bracelet too. And it kind of reminded me of it's like a little crystal ball. So anyways, but just, it's fun to get to, when you know someone, or even if you don't know someone, and then, intuit it and build it and intend, what can you put in there that might be of benefit to the person in some way, shape, and form? What would be, just, bring up their day, or whatever. It's just you putting your good energy, putting good energy into it. And you never know how that can help. In some way, it's like a domino effect. You do something and then someone else sees it and then they feel it, and then it's like, wow, maybe it just really helped them on their day somehow. And look at that. Just something simple. And you were just doing something you enjoyed. Anyways, but also forgot to say too, I'm kind of back to doing readings. They're a little bit different, as I'm including some new things in it. So if anybody has or wants information, it's just something I do to work with you and your team, as it were, and your higher self, to just be kind of a guide, support, to help you shed old things and layers, and especially having to do with fear, guilt, or trauma, and just something that helps guide you to help yourself, and something with a little bit more compassion. And so if anybody's interested, you can always contact me at kristenjoylife@gmail.com. And yeah, for more information and any for availability and appointments and stuff like that. So I'm just kind of seeing where things are going to go, and take one step at a time. So that's kind of what I always say with any of this. If you get into doing beading or wire wrapping or whatever, just take it a little bit at a time. See how it works for you and play with things a little bit, and see what you feel drawn to. So other than that, that's kind of about it right now. So anyways, thanks for watching, and have a beautiful rest of your day wherever you're at. So bye.